Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make improvements in your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon, presented by 17 Hats. Hello and welcome to this week's episode. Today, I am reconnecting with someone who I met at Fulcrum this past year, and that is Darren Sarai, who is the owner of SoCal Balloons out in Southern California. He is a really talented twister and also does quite a bit of decor, and this episode's cool because he talks about this really neat agreement he has to work in schools on weekdays to basically teach balloon twisting to kids. So we cover a lot in this episode, and Darren is on the podcast courtesy of our friends at Kalisan, who have curated a really great month for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And let me just quickly introduce you to Kalisan. They have quality, durable latex balloons that decorators love, including their brand new Aura color line. Gorgeous modern shades that are perfect for creating stylish on-trend designs. Plus, Kalisan offers XL bags, making it easier than ever to stock up on large quantities without constantly restocking, and all at a competitive price. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Kalisan has the products to help you create beautiful professional designs with ease, and you're going to see a lot more of them in the US in the coming months. So stay tuned all month, or go back and listen to this entire month for creative techniques and business strategies, all with the support of our friends at Kalisan. So let's take a quick break and head over to the UGlu Hotline for some great advice that sticks, and then get into this week's episode with Darren from SoCal Balloons. Welcome to the UGlu Hotline, where we discuss great advice that sticks, brought to you by Pro Tapes. If you have a question or some great advice to share, click the link in the show notes to call in and leave a voicemail.
Hi, my name is LaJuan Duxworth, and I'm calling from Love That Balloon Decor and More. I am in the Chicagoland area. I participated in a parade this past weekend, and one tip I want to share: if anyone is ever participating in a parade, make sure you have enough marketing materials, and make sure you have multiple people on each side of the street handing out marketing material as you walk down the long streets or the long mile. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Pro Tapes is a leading manufacturer of specialty tape products like Pro Gaff, Pro Artist Tape, and our favorite balloon tape, UGlu, which helps you create amazing balloon arrangements and decorations. You can save on UGlu when you use the promo code PODCAST at checkout when you shop at our friends havinaparty.com. Welcome to this episode, Darren from SoCal Balloons. It's so good to see you again. We have done another podcast, a video that we will link to, but this is our first time doing the audio podcast. So welcome.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And thanks, Kalisan, for wanting to have me on your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. They have put together a really great month. Let's kick it off with an introduction. Tell us who you are, where you are, and a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so I'm in Southern California. I'm specifically in Riverside County. I'm like half an hour from Orange County. And I've been running a balloon business for the last 10 years. I've been a twister for 13 years, but I was working with a few other companies. And then I moved over to like balloon twisting and getting my own clients and running my own business. And then about 8 years ago, I started to get into decor, and then going to all the conventions and learning at like Fulcrum. And I haven't been to a float yet. I'll go to a float soon. But Fulcrum really pushed me to want to do more decor. And so I bought a van, and I have all the inflators.
Did you buy a van since Fulcrum?
No,
Oh,
I've
okay.
had a van. I've had a van for like 4 years.
Oh, I was like, that's new. Holy cow. Yeah,
No.
yeah. The van is like was the biggest game changer in my business for sure.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is like, do you get a Transit? Do you get a like the big Mercedes Sprinter van, the one I really wanted? But I actually have just a big box truck. So
Oh, okay.
and that's ultimately the best because it's extra big inside. It's like a room on wheels.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Cool. So how did you get into the twisting? Because that's where you started.
Yeah. So I since I was a kid, my mom always planned parties, and she did decor when I was little, but I didn't realize until like maybe like until I got into decor. My mom's like, I did decor when you were little, and so we did twisting a lot. I twisted my first balloon dog when I was 4, so it was like you learn a balloon dog, and then you learn a flower, and so I kind of had those memories. And then when I was a teenager and I was like in high school, um, I saw a balloon twister out in the wild at a festival in Huntington Beach, and I was like, that's so cool. I want to learn how to do that again because I just have like the nostalgia feeling. And I feel like a lot of people I interact with are like, oh, I used to do balloons, and then they don't do it anymore. And then when they see the stuff I make or the stuff that other balloon artists make, they're just like, oh, I didn't know you could do that with balloons. You can make
Yeah.
anything. Like I have this stuff around here. Um, and so when it comes to balloon twisting, there's so much to learn. And then so as a teenager, I was 18, 17 or 18 at the time. My sister and I met a balloon twister at Huntington Beach, and we just kind of ran with it. And then she got us kind of plugged in with the community. We went into more balloon jams, and like a local balloon jam is like just people meet up and twist and teach each other how to twist. And there was one at Mayflower, which is the Mayflower in Cerritos, and
Okay.
they don't do. I don't think they do balloon jams anymore, but I want to do more. I want to host a balloon jam. That's been one of my big things lately. I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
jealous. That's something that twisters have that decorators don't really have. I think that's really cool.
yeah, because you can just make things on the
Yeah,
fly,
and
you
like an
know?
excuse to get together and kind of chat and see new stuff. And I think that's so cool.
Thanks. And yeah, so when I got into learning from this girl, we learned from Janelle, and then we just kind of my sister and I started our business together. We were called Talented Twisters back in
Okay.
like 2013, 2014, and we started our own business. And then my sister and I kind of like butt heads in a way where it's like I want to run the business, no, I want to run the business. So then we kind of like split and both had our own businesses, and
Oh, interesting.
we just referred each other. So then I became Twistify Balloons, and she was Talented Twisters. And then later I was like, well, maybe I should be something else. And so I eventually changed my name to SoCal Balloons because I wanted to more encompass the decor and just
Sure.
everything balloons.
Hmm.
So like I'm not an event planner or a party planner. I don't like do tables and chairs and bounce houses and stuff, but I do decor and twisting.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for getting us up to speed. And you have a full-time job as well, right? And you're a dad. You're busy.
yeah, so my dad owns his own business. I'm kind of born in an entrepreneur business, and so my dad owns a sign business where he does like vehicle wraps, decals, wallpaper, banners, and so I work with him, and so I was a designer, like graphic designer for him,
Okay.
and I don't do graphic design that much anymore, but I was a graphic designer for him, and then now I'm an installer, so I install graphics on ambulances. So we have one big important client and we do ambulance graphics. So I do AMR, and we do like Falc, and we do emergency, and a lot of ambulance companies around California.
Cool, cool. So is that like 9 to 5 or are you super flexible? I mean, we're recording this on like a Thursday afternoon. So like, do you work from home? Because I think a lot of people listening, I would say the majority of people listening, are not full time in balloons. Their goals to get there maybe, or their goals not to get there. But I'm curious like
Yeah.
what your plan is around that.
Yeah, so the last I would say like 2 years, I was more like part-time balloons, full-time graphics, and
Hmm.
now it's kind of switched, and now I'm more
Okay.
full-time balloons and part-time graphics, which is really cool because I really want to be full-time balloons. I want to just do balloons all the time, every day, making videos about balloons, doing workshops with balloons, doing parties and throwing events and stuff. So I'm just trying to get the graphics and vinyl out of the way. Like I have to juggle that part of my business or
Yeah.
that part of that job, and then do the balloon stuff too. So I'm like I'm at work installing graphics, and I'll take a break, and I'm like, okay, I got to respond to these emails. This client wants balloons on this day, and
Yeah,
so I
I mean,
have to
we've
kind of
all
like
been there. Like, we've
balance
all
things.
done the double dipping. Like, I mean,
Y-
not everybody, but I did for 8 years. And my goal wasn't necessarily to go full time until I just didn't want to be at my job anymore. But no, I think that's a good strategy to
Yeah.
not just up and leave a good situation that you have. But I wasn't curious if you were wanting to do the balloons full time.
Yeah, that's what I want. I
Yeah.
think balloons full time would be really cool, and I'm doing that more with the videos I'm putting out on Instagram and YouTube. I want to do more like I don't know, influencer sounds kind of like a dream job that nobody really does. It's like Instagram versus reality. It looks like you do it, but it's
Yeah.
like, do you really make enough
Yeah, you're not
money?
feeding your family off of, yeah, your influencer
Yeah,
account.
off of views. Yeah.
But let's actually talk about that because you are a bit of a little viral sensation over on Instagram. You have had, or is it more on TikTok?
Instagram, I have 60K followers, and then TikTok, I have like 30. But I
But
got
you've
the
done,
TikTok followers from during COVID, I got like
yeah. And is
30,000.
it from your drive-through videos? Because I think a lot of people kind of know you from that.
Yeah, so the Instagram, I'm more Instagram than TikTok. I don't really post. I like TikTok. I'm in this like live group where I hang out with a bunch of balloon twisters on live on TikTok. But when
Okay,
it comes to Instagram, I really like Instagram more. I feel like it's more real. Like there's more quality followers on
sure.
there.
Okay.
And so I have a bigger following on Instagram, which is cool. So I've been pushing that one more. But the drive-through videos really took off. And with the drive-through videos, I would always just kind of make balloons in the drive-through and never film it just because I wanted to get people's reactions and kind of have a fun time. I'm like bored in the drive-through and I bring one of my balloon bags with me. And then I was like, one day I was like, I'm just gonna film it. I don't know. I just put my phone on my dash, like it mounts on my dash, and I'm just filming with the front camera. And that's all I had was just one angle. And that video got like, I think it got like 2 million views. And I was like, that's pretty crazy. So
And
I
you're
kept
making
doing
these
it.
balloon creations for the drive-through employee that you're giving it to?
Yeah, so my strategy was like on the intercom, I'm like at Starbucks and I'm like gonna order my drink, and then I'm like, "What's your favorite animal?" And she's like, "Oh, I like tigers." I'm like, "Okay." So I make a tiger like while I'm waiting in line at the drive-through, and then when I'm done making it, I'll like hand it to them at the window. And so they just requested a tiger, not knowing they requested it, but just told me that they like a certain animal, and then I give them a balloon sculpture of their animal.
Yeah.
It's just like it's mind-blowing for these people. It's pretty cool.
I always love to steal everything that I possibly can, idea wise. So I'm trying to think, how do I make this something that I could do? Because I am like, I'm not a twister. I'm not an entertainer. I don't care to film it. I don't want to make it on the fly, but I do think that there's something really brilliant there of going through drive-throughs of places you're going already. And instead of just like giving them a card awkwardly and being like, hey, give me your business. And the person's like, I don't know what you are talking about. You could have
Yeah.
something balloon related with a card that you're giving them as a gift. It's so,
Yeah.
like I feel like there's
Well,
something there that could be so smart.
Well, that's a great point because so that happened last summer, and then I've been posting videos ever since. And I did a lot more drive-through videos, but I tried to branch out and do different styles of series videos. So I did like a spin the wheel challenge, and I've done these like guess the mess, like here's a balloon, what is it going to look like? Here it appears. But the drive-through videos always do the best because I think they're all social experiments. So people want kind of like the social experiment, kind of like a mini reality show. So if you can figure out a way to do like a social experiment out in public with real people with your balloon decor, then that will run. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I even think like if you give someone something cute and twisted and your card's in there and you're just like, oh, hey, I have a balloon company. I made this for you. There's no way that person isn't going to turn around and be like, oh my gosh, this weirdo in the line just gave me this. Look how
Yeah.
cute it is. And then everyone in the kitchen and the restaurant is talking about it and
Yes.
someone is going to grab that card. And if it's the manager, yay. Like I think
Yeah.
of Chick-fil-A, they do balloons all the time, and mine doesn't. And I don't even know who to reach out to. And I'm like, wouldn't that
Mm.
be fun if it could just be as simple as like, hey, here's a little balloon sculpture with a card. Let me know if you ever need balloons. Like it feels
Yeah.
less sleazy than walking in and just being like, who's the manager? I'd like your business, please. Like I've done that 0 times, but I don't think it would work.
Yeah. And that's the thing with twisting. It's super simple to make something simple,
And
make a
it's so
flower or make,
impressive, like versus
yeah.
making something with rounds that's like little enough to hand to someone. Even if
Yeah.
you're not going to do drive-throughs, like I've even struggled with like little deliverable thank yous. Like, what do I leave at a hotel front desk? Because they don't want a big bouquet. That's like in the way and annoying.
Mm.
They don't. You're not going to leave a column. Like you can't make something little enough. So I think twisting is kind of the way to go.
Twisting is the way to go, but I had an idea about that. What if you make a column out of just like little 5 inches, but it looks like a mini version of
Make
like a
one. That'd
classic
be so
column? So
cute.
it's like the 5 inches would only be,
Yeah, they'd be itty bitty.
they'd be under inflated, and then the top balloon would just be a fully inflated 5 inch, like a topper, like a 36-inch topper, but like a mini version of a column.
We are going off
Can you,
on tangents, but I love
no,
this.
can you imagine that?
There's like a little YouTube world out there, or even Instagram of people that do like miniatures. Like obviously for a while there was like the mini cooking and there was the mini whatever. And then
Yeah.
now there's actually these like mini kits you can buy. I just saw them at Target the other day. I was shopping for
Oh,
Easter
no
stuff.
way.
And it's like mini soap making, make miniature bath bombs. It's like mini craft kits. And I'm like, what if there was like mini balloon decor? It would be so cute. Like a little
You
itty bitty
could.
pump. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, itty bitty pump, or that's goes into the whole AI. Have you seen all those AI
Oh yeah, the action
the
figures.
the action figures and stuff? Yeah, so
I
it's like
know.
they have the
Someone
little
needs to
itty
make
bitty
one so we can
pump and
get the
the itty
little
bitty.
pump.
I
Oh,
know.
it'd be
Yeah,
so cute.
that's been so big in the balloon twister community right now. Everyone and their mother has been
Oh, the
posting
AI. I know. Someone,
the
Travis from Squeak Balloon Decor sent me
yeah.
mine, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute.
Oh,
Like,
he made you one?
yeah, I still don't know how to
But
make them. I'm just like relying on other people. My AI
yeah,
hates me. My AI just lies, and I
Keith.
like scold it, and I'm gonna be the first one killed in the robot apocalypse. Like my
Oh
AI
my gosh.
betrays me constantly. Anyway, we could not be further off topic. Let's get back on and talk about beginner twisting because you have some resources coming out that I think would
Yes.
be helpful for people like me. And I know you mentioned before we started recording, you have a similar kind of background and story to Mauricio, who was also on this month, and I kind of asked him also like, where do decorators start? Because I think it's easier for twisters to learn decor than it is for decorators to learn twisting. I feel like twisters
Yeah.
just kind of like have it. It's not a formula. It doesn't feel like something as teachable, but maybe it is. So if I want to start incorporating twisting into my decor or into deliveries, like where's a good place to start?
So it takes a lot of work to get into the basics, but buy some balloons, get some 260s, get an assortment pack with all the colors. You could even get like the character pack with all the grays and browns and blush and stuff. But definitely there's a lot of free resources on YouTube. I actually have a YouTube channel where if you sign up for my newsletter, I'll give you the basics of like these are all the different twists that you need to learn the basics so then you can make all these other creations and animals.
Cool. We'll
But
get me that link after we're done and we'll put that in the show
okay.
notes so if anyone wants to sign up.
Yeah, but when it comes to twisting, really, it's like just pick up a balloon and try to twist it. Maybe watch if there's a lot of good free resources on YouTube. I mean, they're not all the best quality. Sometimes the people don't talk and it's just close up and
Hmm.
it just depends on who you want to watch. And I think that's what makes my YouTube channel differently. It's like I'm more fun and I'm expressive and I have a top-down shot so you can kind of see like my hands from my point of view.
Yeah.
And so that you can really get a lot of good detail from those videos. But definitely buy some balloons and just kind of get started and play around with it and make a dog, make a flower, make a sword, make all the basic stuff. There's a lot of one ballooners that are still really good designs like the monkey and the bear and the elephant. And those are like kind of the basics of what you start with and what
Hmm.
you would build upon because then once you make one balloon like elephant, you could like give it two balloons, make it bigger, and give it eyes with a white round and a black round, and you could give it like pupils and stuff. And so there's different ways, and that's where you always start is just from like the very grassroots basics, and then you kind of like expand out from there. And a lot of my designs are built off of the basics.
Okay.
So it just kind of starts with and then you look at it and you say, "Oh, I like the way that that person did it, but I want to tweak it and change it and make it the way I want to make it." And so you just everyone kind of builds on their own style. And the balloon twister community is like it's so funny because I'm like I feel like I'm in the middle. So there's the balloon twister community on one side, and then there's the decor community on the other side. And I'll talk to decorators and they don't know any twisters. And I talk to twisters and they don't know any decorators. And then there's like a few people that are where I'm at, like Mauricio and like Sean Rogers, that know like a little bit more of everyone.
Yeah.
But when you get to know those people, you kind of see their style and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this twister style. Like Christopher Lyle, I don't know if you know
Hmm.
him, but like Christopher Lyle is a really good example of like a twister that has a very unique style. And then you could take that style and kind of make it your own and twist upon it. One of the twisters that it's one of my biggest mentors, Cody Williams, not Cody Williams from Red Balloon, which is a decorator, which is like a whole other weird thing that there's a
I
Cody
know there's
Williams
two
on
of them.
some
Alter
yeah,
egos.
so Cody Williams, the Twister, is a mentor of mine that I started learning from like right off the bat. I watched his YouTube videos, and then he lived in California, and then he moved to Arizona. Long story, but we got together, and he created a zero to pro tutorial. And so it's a 4 hour tutorial. It teaches you how to put a balloon on a pump and inflate it, teaches you how to tie it, teaches you how to have everything. And that video is like 15 years old, and so
Mm.
it's a little bit. dated with some of the stuff, and it's also just not the best camera quality. But him and I are working together to revamp it and refilm it. So he's actually coming out to California really soon, and we're gonna refilm it, and I'm gonna edit it. It's gonna be so fun because I'm just getting really into the videos, and so that's gonna be a resource that's gonna be coming out probably June or July. So
Okay, cool. So there are.
not that soon, but yeah.
No, that's soon-ish. Yeah, I think what when you do decor, you said you don't do as much deco twisting as you would like, but what are sculptures that you're making for events? Like if you're also decorating the party, what type of things are people asking you to twist? Because I wouldn't even know what type of things to suggest unless there was like a blatant theme, like it's an elephant party. Like what are you adding on to your decor?
Oh, when it comes to decor, like to get into that though, traditional decor, like what I started with, just traditional classic columns, classic arches, like those sell still really well. So it's
Hmm.
like if your client wants to buy that and that doesn't take you as long as, an organic arch or something with a bunch of like bubble chains or something in it, then I'm all for just like, okay, you want classic, let's go for it. Like I
Yeah,
have
you're
enough
not like
pictures.
demanding that they add twisted elements on if they don't want them.
Yeah, so it's more of a niche like option. And so when it comes to twisted elements in there, that's usually when they're like, "Oh, I'm having a teddy bear theme baby shower or I'm having like a nautical theme event," and you want like
Okay.
those things. So I'll put those in there when I when they ask, or I'll put those in there as like a little add-on. But like baby showers is good because you can make little like balloon babies and stuff. So I added little twisted elements in there when I can. But if people want just classic decor, I'm like all about it because I used to be more artistic when it comes to like my business, but now that I'm just trying to make money in my business, I'm like, you want classic? Let's go
Yeah,
for it.
absolutely, right? You're like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to convince you to do something that takes 5 times longer.
Yeah, well, I have an Easter event this Sunday at a church that I work with, and they just want 18 classic balloon
Oh,
columns.
that's like the dream
So
job.
so I'm like, you want eight? Like I'm gonna try to fit them all in my truck in one trip, but 18 classic balloon columns, just purple, and I'm like, all right, let's go for like a lilac and a bunch of
Yeah,
Tuftex colors. My client even sent me she wanted a specific Tuftex brand color, and I was like,
really.
that's perfect. So yeah, so she wants lavender and lilac, and then like a metallic. But anyway, so
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, it's
dream.
the dream job. Absolutely.
So
Let's take a quick break, and then I want to talk about something we you touched on before we started recording, which is really cool relationship you have with schools. So
yes.
we will be right back. If you haven't checked out Having a Party yet, now is the time. The great team over at Having a Party Wholesale carries a huge selection of high quality balloons and supplies to take your designs to the next level, including Kalisan, this month's sponsor. Plus, they're more than just a supplier, they're committed to education, helping balloon professionals grow their skills and businesses, and investing in our industry, whether that's hosting in house classes or sponsoring instructors at events. In fact, I'll be teaching for Having a Party at Float 2026, and I can't wait to highlight their awesome products and service. And here's something extra. Get 5% off orders over $200 using the code podcast at checkout when you shop at havenaparty.com. All right, welcome back. So part of your many ways of doing business, you have the twisting, the entertaining, you do decor, and this was something that I've not really heard of, but you have a connection and you are teaching schools how to twist balloons. Tell us what this is.
Yeah, so I have a relationship with another balloon company, and I think it's really important to work with other people as best as you can. I used to be more of like, oh, you do balloons and my balloons are better, and like it's a competition, but it's not a competition. You can love on everyone and you can learn anything from anyone. But I work with another company called Balloony Twisters, and the owner is Victoria, and so we met about a year ago, and she reached out to me and she was like, hey. You're in my area. You're a really good twister. I have this really cool opportunity. I just got approved to do balloon workshops in schools. So our school district, CNUSD, there's 40 schools in our school district, and so she basically works for the school district. She built like a program. It's like an 8-week course, and the kids, it's an after-school program. So the kids learn how to twist balloons in an 8-part program. So they learn like a lock twist and a balloon dog, loop twist and a flower, and they learn like pinch twist and these other different twisting techniques to eventually get them to make kind of anything they want. And so it's a really fun, interactive environment with these kids. And I'll bring in a bunch of pre-inflated balloons. And then I'm like, I'm a classroom teacher, like I'm an educator, but I started off as a balloon twister and then an educator. And so Victoria kind of started off as an educator turned balloon twister because she started doing like balloons at her kids' schools. And so
Okay.
it got her involved. And then she was like, I'm going to come up with a course for this. So she kept going to the school district over and over with this course idea, and they would keep shutting her down month after month after month through all these meetings. So she would come in and say, hey, here's this course. And they go, well, it's not educational enough. There's not enough parts of it. How is it going to do this? And so she'd have to keep refining the course over and over. And then after you got the educational part right, then they're like, oh, this course is too expensive. So she spent like a year trying to talk to the school district
Yeah,
and jump through
interesting.
all these hoops to get the course going. So about a year ago, she brought me on to do the course. So she's been doing the educational classes for after school programs for about 2 years, and I've been doing it for coming up on a year. So this summer
Okay.
will be a year of these programs. So I have three. So there's like 3 semesters, I guess, a trimester. I don't know how that works. But I work with her doing that. And so I'm totally booked during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
That's
from like two,
crazy.
2 to 3 hours. And I'm just going to schools, going into classrooms, and they're the kids that are maybe a little less fortunate, or they are in the after school program because their parents don't pick them up right away after school. And so I'm in there talking to these kids, making friends and just making them balloons, but I don't make them balloons like whatever they want. It's more of like, today we're going to make dogs. Let's practice dogs. Here's a
So you're
balloon.
not
You twist it
running
like
like an
this.
entertainment workshop where you're like doing a school assembly and entertaining and twisting. You're like you're teaching them how to do balloons so they have hands-on experience and
Ye-
piece by piece. You're basically raising a new generation of competition.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully they come work for us eventually, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
really neat. So how many of those schools in the district did she contract with?
So each of us were only able to do one school a day after school. So I have five and she has five. Well,
Wow.
she takes Tuesdays off, so she has four. So we only have 9 schools right now. So we need help. If there's any balloon twisters in our area that want to either, we're thinking, we're like, do we teach balloon twisters how to teach, or do we teach educators how to twist? So it's like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
kind of come at it at each angle. And so I think we're gonna try to do both. But if you're a twister in the Southern California area, we'd love to talk to you and see if you would be eligible to teach in our workshops. And so it's really cool. And so it's weekday work, and it's also like decent pay.
Yeah.
And so like for me, as it's not my regular twister rate, but it's definitely good for the hour. It's like an extra 15 hours a week. So I'm
Yeah,
making,
absolutely.
yeah,
And so many connections I'm sure that you're making too in just
yeah.
schools and but that's so cool.
PTAs,
How
and
are
the kids want to ask, they're like, do you do YouTube videos? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, how many followers do you have? Like, they're
Oh, it's so
obsessed with
funny.
that. And
Yeah,
so
you're
when I
probably
tell
like their
them that
little
I've
celebrity. That's
Yeah.
cool.
When I tell them I have 60K on Instagram, they're like, oh my gosh. And then they come home and they go home and then they come back the next week and they're like, I watched all your videos, like and then you
That's
build
really
little
cool.
fans, and then they want to hire me to be at their parties. So it's kind of like it's starting to just branch out and grow really organically. So
That's really neat. And how
yeah.
how old are they? How old are the kids?
Honestly, we get first grade to sixth grade, but
First
sometimes
grade?
we get kindergarten classes, and I'm like, we don't do kindergarten. They're too
No, that's
little. Like
impossible.
they
Yeah.
ha they have to be really like they're too wild. They're just too
They
wild.
can't and they
So
can't follow like multi-step directions at that point. Like their little brains aren't
No.
ready yet. Yeah.
But I will say first and second grade do better than third and fourth grade sometimes,
Interesting.
because
Yeah.
at third and fourth grade they just don't listen, or like say the kids in the class are all friends with each other like really well, then they'll just start kind of like ganging up on me. Like
Yeah.
they'll be a little bit more rowdy. But I've really learned in the last 6 months how to treat a class and how to like really like control the class,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
lack of better
Classroom
words.
management. And
Yeah.
I would assume you had to learn kind of like your pacing and like how quick you could go through a design so someone doesn't fall behind. But what is their
Yeah.
reaction to it? Like, are they loving it? I would assume it's great.
They they love it. They think the balloons are so much fun, and it's something different than they do with just like recess or draw like coloring. So it's a different medium. And then they get to take the balloons home. I don't want their balloons. You
Yeah.
take them home. Here's a bag and you put all your balloons in there, and they would just really get to enjoy them. But with the kids though, now that because I'm a father of three too, so I'm like really putting on my parenting hat when I'm in these classrooms, and I'm like trying not parenting them in a like a I'm not their dad, but I feel more like a parent and
Yeah,
I'm 30, but I'm like parenting like I have 250 students a week
that's a
on top
lot.
of my own three kids. So I'm just like talking to these kids all the time, and I'm just a teacher or a parent, like some because I'm life skinned and I'm through it all, and so it's just like I'm a teacher, and it's just really weird for me to wrap my head around sometimes. But I'm like I have these students, and then I go to events or I go to gigs or I go to like a public event, and I see
Oh,
some
and
of
they
my
know you.
students.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I was at a YMCA event, and I was like. I saw this little girl. I'm like, you look really familiar. She's like, oh, I'm in your class at Vicentia Elementary, and it's cool to like make those connections.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's really, really cool. I love that.
yeah.
Um, Neat. Cool. So how long are you said they're trimesters? So do they sign up for like a trimester at a time and then it's a new group or is this like a year-long thing?
No, it's a 8 week program, so it's
Okay.
just like a semester long program. And so the kids, I think the kids have to sign up for it specifically. If you guys want to know more information about it, you can go to balloonytwisters.com or you can email balloonytwisters@gmail.com, and that's balloon IE twisters at gmail.com. So like
Cool. Thank
B
you.
B
Yeah.
A yeah, BALLOONIE twisters at
Love it.
gmail.com.
Cool. As long as we are telling people where to go, where's the best place for people to find you?
The best place to find me is you can go to my website and I have some information on there about all the stuff that I do, SoCalBalloons.com, but mostly Instagram. I think
Okay.
Instagram is where I post a lot of updates and like if I'm out, because I'm starting to try to get like restaurants. It's hard for me to get enough time away to work when I have a full-time family.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm starting to do restaurants, so I'll post updates on Instagram or TikTok like, hey, I'll be at Texas Roadhouse on Tuesday nights, and stuff like that. Um, but on Instagram. So SoCal.balloons on Instagram.
Cool, cool. All right, let's take our last break and then we will end with our final questions. Balloon Pros, if you've been putting off your website because you're too busy inflating, installing, or making magic for your clients, you're not alone. I know so many of you have been stuck between DIYing your site, struggling with templates that don't quite fit, or feeling like a fully custom website is out of reach. That's where Courtney Lynette Creative Co. comes in. Courtney is a web designer who has worked with tons of balloon stylists, and she gets the unique needs of your business. She's created Website in a Day, a streamlined process that gives you a high-end, custom quality website and branding without the stress or high cost. In just one day, you'll walk away with a beautiful, strategic website designed to help you book more clients, showcase your work, and stand out in a crowded market. Plus, branding is included, so your entire online presence looks polished and professional from top to bottom. And because you're a Bright Balloon listener, you can get $100 off your Website in a Day package. Just mention the podcast when you book. Don't wait another season to get your website working for you. Head to CourtneyLynette.com/bright-balloon to learn more, or click the link in the show notes wherever you're listening. Okay, welcome back. Let's end with our final three questions. Also, quick thank you to Kalisan for sponsoring this month and
Yep.
presenting you, our guest here.
Yep.
Um, our first question is, where is your favorite place to go on vacation? It can be with your family or by yourself.
So a long time we've been going every year to Bass Lake. Have you ever heard of Bass Lake?
Yes, but because I'm like an OG Housewives watcher, you probably don't know that. Do you know
Oh,
that reference?
no.
Oh my gosh, one of the women's like, "You went to Bass Lake," and she like aggressively points, and that is just like burned into my brain. So I only know Bass Lake
Oh.
from the Housewives reference.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, I'd have never heard that reference, but Bass Lake is like right outside of Oakhurst, California. It's like an hour from Yosemite,
Okay.
and it's just a cool little lake. It's like a half a mile wide and it's like 4 miles long. And there's all these cute little resorts around, or one resort and like these camping spots. And you could rent like a pontoon boat or a speedboat
Oh,
and you could
cool.
go tubing. And so that's what I've done with my family like every year for the last like 10 maybe 12 years, so that's always fun. And now that my kids are bigger, we could take them and go. It's not quite camping, it's more glamping. Like
Yeah,
yeah, you stay in a hotel, or you sit and have breakfast and you can see the lake, and it's
it's
just
rustic, but you have like
pi-
amenities.
pine trees. Yeah, it's like Central California, and so it's
Cool.
like pine trees and the vibes are really fun, and so it's a great spot for the summer.
Sounds awesome. All right, next
Yeah,
question.
love.
You are always buying techie trinkets, so I'm curious what you're going to say.
Yes.
It does not have to be techie, but what is something that you have purchased recently that you love?
Okay, I was really looking forward to this question because I listened to the podcast and I was like, oh, I get to talk about this now. So I'm gonna tell you two, and they kind of
Perfect.
go hand in hand. So, I've been a long time one wheel rider. Do you know what a one wheel
Oh, is that like
is?
the skateboard, hoverboard thing, but like a unicycle?
Yeah, it's self-balancing. So it's not an EUC, which is an electric unicycle where you go forward. You go
Oh,
sideways
okay.
like a skateboard. I actually have a little.
Yeah, like a little balance board with a wheel in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's a little balance board with a wheel in the middle. I've been riding these for over 5 years, and so I have the older model. And just recently, I just got the newest top of the line model, and
Okay.
it goes fast, and it's powerful. And what's really neat with it is that I with my older model, I would push my kids on in the stroller with
Oh,
while I'm
okay.
riding it. So it's just a we don't go too fast, like we don't go over like 12 miles an hour, but I'll push them like to the park and they'll play. And so the first part of this answer is a brand new one wheel, top of the line. And then the second part is that I just ordered a Wonderfold stroller. Have you heard of a Wonderfold stroller wagon?
Uh-uh.
No, it's a four-seater stroller wagon. And it
Okay.
has 12-inch tires on the back and has 10-inch tires on the front. And it's like the super wagon. It's got a canopy, it folds up really nice, and it's like a super bougie wagon. It was like $1,100.
Oh my
And
God, for your kids?
yeah, four. Yeah,
Good
well,
Lord.
I have three kids, but it's a four-seater and it's so cool. It holds 300 pounds and it's just like a BA wagon. It's so
Okay.
awesome. So now I'm gonna push them on my one wheel in that wagon and we'll
Can
go
it
on
push that much weight?
oh, probably yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Well,
gosh.
the one wheel has like 3 horsepower and
Isn't it
it's really
funny
strong.
how like it changes when you're a
It's a
parent
drive.
and your favorite thing is like a souped up wagon? It's true though. We have one and it's
Yeah.
like the same thing. It has like the canopy and the bug net and it's like it has like the off-road tires and like the cup holder. I'm like, we need
Yeah.
it. It's
It-
necessary. Barely fits in
exactly.
my car.
Parenting style, you know?
Actually, I'm gonna give her a shout out. I think Melissa Fox gave that for me to me for my baby shower. They like I had a virtual balloon person baby shower hosted by
What?
balloon friends. She sent me this awesome wagon that we use constantly in the summer. So
Oh, that's so
thank you for
cool.
that. All
Oh,
right,
Melissa
and
Fox.
last question. What's a tiny piece of balloon business advice that you have for our listeners?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and my biggest advice I can give is give yourself grace. So I
Mm,
feel like whenever we jump into a new like thing, like if you're a decorator trying to jump into twisting, or if you're a twister trying to jump into decorating, or if you're a decorator that's getting into like different style, like if you've never done organic before, or if you've never done traditional before, classic, then give yourself grace. If your first one doesn't come out okay, like don't beat yourself up about it. And I feel like a lot of people are like making mistakes and they're like, oh, and they kind of give up right away. I know that I did a lot in the beginning where I'm like, ah, this looks like crap. I don't want to sell this or I don't want to make this anymore. But you just gotta like keep trying. Like move on. You know, it's okay. Pop the balloons or deflate them and start over. You know, you try try again, and don't beat yourself up about it. You know.
yeah, I think especially with
Yeah.
twisting, I think that's true. Like you think it's going to be so easy, you do one thing, and then it's like this looks ridiculous. I'm never doing it again. So I think that's perfect advice for our
Yeah.
twisting episode.
And that's what twisting has taught me is just patience, is just
Mm,
being patient. When you're twisting and you're thinking about how long the tail is going to be and you have to kind of plan for that, like which is so second nature to me now, but it's also like taught me patience. And I feel like it's helped me be a better dad. And
yeah.
I don't know if
No, that's
that's kind
really
of weird.
nice. I
Yeah.
love
'Cause I'm like,
that.
it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, well, I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. And we will link, you have a full other interview that we did in person at Fulcrum where we twisted while we talked. And we talked about all different stuff. So if you enjoyed
Yeah.
this interview, people can go catch that over on YouTube and they can check your YouTube out as well. You're everywhere. So Instagram or YouTube. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being on
Okay.
here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks for listening. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light. Our presenting sponsor is 17 Hats, the CRM I use to cut the chaos and manage my entire balloon business. From the lead capture form on my website to workflows and email templates, invoicing and grab-and-go garland automated bookings, it's all powered by 17 Hats, the best customer relationship management system for balloon businesses. There's even a 50% off coupon code waiting for you in the show notes wherever you're listening. I'll see you next week in another episode.